Welcome to Choctaw County Baseball. Today we have action at home. We're at Tom Glasgow Park. The Choctaw County Chargers are hosting the Philadelphia Tornadoes in a Saturday game. We're fixing to get ready to do player announcements and get the lineups for both teams, and that'll be coming up. But I just want to go ahead and start the broadcast so we would have the stream going. We're both on Facebook Live and also on the YouTube channel. Philadelphia comes into the game 3-10, 2-2 in division, two-game winning streak. Won their last two games this week over Newton, 14-0, and also 9-0. So got a pretty good game as far as got a two-game winning streak. The Choctaw County Chargers had a good week themselves, evening up their division record to 2-2. Had two wins this last week over Hatley, and last night had a little extra baseball as we went into extra innings, got into the 8th inning, and had a big top of the 8th for the Chargers, and were able to get the win on the road and even up that division record. And that was really a big game right there for the Chargers, as we were looking to bounce back. As far as the previous week, had a tough opponents with Houston Hilltoppers to open up division play, and lost both of those games, so it was a big step in the right direction for the Chargers to bounce back. We have a non-division foe today in town at Tom Glasgow Park, and Philadelphia come into town to play, so we should have some baseball here shortly. Both coaches are on the field, and we're talking about field conditions. As far as a little bit breezy today, you're going to have a breeze coming in from center or right center, blowing in. It's probably 12 to 15 miles per hour, so a little bit breezy. We've been having to hold on to our papers up here as everything's been blowing around pretty good. Joined up here in the top, we're trying a little bit different today. In the top of the concession stand area there, I got Brent Talley up here with me, so we're going to be, you might pick him up several times. He's got the headset on right now, but in a little bit he's going to be doing the announcement, so you'll be hearing him a good bit today. But Austin Talley, your nephew, had a big game last night, helped the Chargers out in that victory, had 3 doubles last night and 3 RBIs, and one big one in extra innings.
Yeah, I didn't get to go last night, but from everything I've seen, he was hitting the ball well, and several other kids, putting the bat on the ball pretty well. I saw where Bryce Utley, I believe, had 2 hits, and I think Braden Hines had a big double. So it was a good night for us. Of course, we'd like to do a little bit better and start keep our heart rates down a little bit next time, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah, the Chargers come into this game batting .312 as a team. Several, as far as it's really Braden Hines has been one of these players this year, has really put the bat on the ball, and it's been one of those things. Somebody in every game sort of picked up in different things as far as in different areas, but Braden Hines come in batting .514. He's had 42, looks like, plate appearances, but had 1 home run, and he has had, I'm trying to get to the 5 doubles, and that sort of looks like tied. Austin Talley has 5 doubles as well. He added 3 last night and sort of evened that up, but Austin Talley, another one of the leaders on his team, batting .457, and but team batting average as far as doing really well. So we're fixing to get ready for some player announcements. So you'll hear that over the intercom here, and we'll have Charger baseball. So thanks for tuning in, and we're on both YouTube and the Facebook.
Welcome to today's game between the Philadelphia Tornadoes and the Choctaw County Chargers. Now your starting lineup for the Philadelphia Tornadoes. Leading off and pitching, number 11, Parker Wood. Batting second, number 21, Griffin Gentry. Batting third, number 23, first baseman Deandre Fox. Batting fourth, number 22, Boogie Bingham. Batting fifth, number 4, Will Wood. Batting sixth, number 1, Jackson Ward. Batting seventh, number 5, Jordan Davis. Batting 8th, number 16, Jacy Beckham. And batting 9th, number 9, Mark Hunt. And the rest of your Philadelphia Tornadoes coaches and players. And now for your starting lineup for your Choctaw County Chargers. Leading off and playing shortstop, number 7, Austin Talley. Batting 2nd, number 4, Austin Fulgham. Batting 3rd, playing right field, number 1, Adam Threadgill. Batting 4th, playing 3rd base, number 23, Braden Hines. Batting 5th, catching, number 9, Calvin Talley. Batting 6th, playing 1st base, number 42, Tanner Threadgill. Batting 7th, playing 2nd base, number 5, Dawson Jones. Batting 8th and pitching, number 12, Bryce Utley. And batting 9th, playing center field, number 2, Erik Jones. And the rest of your Choctaw County Chargers players and coaches. Ladies and gentlemen, before we honor America by playing the national anthem, we'd like to take a moment of silence. As you all know, we lost a player this week, Mo Harden, from Choctaw County Community Football and Baseball. We'd just like to take a moment of silence and remember him in this time. Thank you.
The Chargers are on the field here warming up for this game. Bryce Utley, the senior, is going to be the starting pitcher for the Chargers. Senior heavy Charger team, as you look at the lineup that was called out earlier, you have a junior in Dawson Jones playing second base, and you have Calvin Talley, a sophomore, at catcher. But when you look around, all the other players, as far as the 7 that's on the field right now, are all seniors for the Chargers. So a lot of experience here for this Charger team. And I know came into this season, they were reigning district champs. We moved from the South Division and moved into the North, and a little bit different. We had a tough competition with Southeast Lauderdale, Forest in previous years, but when you move to the North, we had also we had redistricting, and you also had classifications as far as teams moving up and down. Houston dropped down to 3A, which we knew were going to be a very tough competition. So the Chargers dropped that, but they're looking to bounce back and try to make a run here in the division and bounce back nicely this week as far as with a couple division wins at Hadley last night. So we're here with us to get off with the first pitch.
Leading off for Philadelphia, number 11, Parker Wood. Yeah, Chris, talking about redistricting, this is an old district matchup from last year and now that's just I don't want to say meaningless, but just a normal Saturday game with really no implications to anyone in district standings.
Yeah, it's just one of these things as far as it's one you want to win and try to build on and stuff, but really not as that one just barely foul right there as Hines was making a break on that one. But just one as far as doesn't not a whole lot of emphasis, is one that you want to try to build on right here and get some momentum going into this next week.
Yeah, that's right, especially after last night's. It's going to be interesting to see how we come out after last night's, get in kind of late and a little bit of an early start, especially for high school kids here today.
Yeah, as far as it was, I know I was talking down there as far as really put it back in the road pretty good. We got back about 12:15, but I think others got back after 1, so it was really late night for most of these guys. So first batter right there is going to be Parker Woods, and he draws a walk.
Now batting for Philadelphia, number 21, Griffin Gentry. Yeah, Bryce is missing kind of close there on a few of them.
And he gets the first strike right there. So Bryce Utley comes in here, the senior, with the ERA of 2.8 and 1 win and no losses on the year. And he's had, let's see here, he's pitched in 3 games.
I believe he started the first East Webster game, Chris, and he pitched really well. He gave up a couple of runs, to a good ball club, but and I think he pitched 3 or 4 innings and got the win in that one. Oh.
Well, you could see there on the stream as far as there was a shallow fly ball hit to right field. Adam Threadgill charged, made the catch, and tried to do the double up as far as he can get the out at first base, and just couldn't really tell from my vantage point, but ended up wasn't able to make the catch or throw.
Now batting for Philly, number 23, Deandre Fox.
And Parker Wood is going to advance to second base, but we got 1 out in the inning.
Yeah, he had him, it looked like, if he would have made a little bit of a better throw, but he made a good running catch, and ball just kind of got away from the first baseman there and allowed the runner to advance.
Those first cousins trying to hook up with each other didn't connect right there, so we had to try to get the Threadgill connection there to get the double play. That one gets past Talley, and the runner is going to advance to third base. So we got a runner at third for the Tornadoes here in the opening inning, and just 1 out. Called strike. Count is 2 balls and 1 strike. Fox in the 3-hole steps in, fouls that one off. It's going to even the count up 2-2. That one's hit well into the gap in center. Going for a double. Relay just was not very quick right there, as I thought they were going to get Fox going to second base, but just wasn't able to get that in, as thought he was going to be dead as far as going to second base.
Yeah, it looked like we had a chance, and it looked like Jones couldn't get out of his glove quick enough. Now batting for Philadelphia, number 22, Boogie Beckham.
So the Tornadoes right here in the top of the first get a run, and it's 1-0. Utley gets a first strike, as it was a swinging strike. But Utley was one of these pitchers, you talked about him having a good game as far as against East Webster. And one of the ones that I know he would say, as far as one of the games he remembers real well, is he pitched really well last year against a good Kosciuszko team and had a really good outing there as well.
Yeah, I remember he came in late and got the save there, and really shut him down for 2 or 3 innings, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, so I know he really remembers that one there. So he has the ability here as far as in trying to get some. You just never know later on as far as in the season, trying to get a lot of these pitchers some action in some games.
Yeah, with the rules in today's pitch count, it's imperative that you have a lot of kids on the team that can pitch, because if somebody goes too many innings, they can't throw the next day, or heck, 3 days after that.
And Utley gets the strikeout right there, and we have 2 outs. We got a runner on second.
Now batting for Philadelphia, number 4, Will Wood.
That was a big strikeout there to get 2 outs right here, as the Chargers are looking to get into the dugout and get those bats in their hands. That one's fouled off. Little outside right there. That evens up 1-1. Chargers looking to get that 3rd out. Just missing a little bit outside. Hines going to have a play on this ball. Good throw across and get the out at first, and that's going to be it for the top half of the first inning.
Yeah, they had 1 run on 1 hit, 1 man left, and so after half inning, it's Philadelphia 1, Choctaw County 0. After half an inning, Philadelphia had 1 run on 1 hit, 1 man left. Philadelphia 1, Choctaw County 0.
Due up for the Chargers here in the top half of the inning. We're going to have the shortstop, number 7, Taleno, Fulgham in the 2-hole, then Adam Threadgill in the 3 spot, due up for the Chargers.
Yeah, see if we can get one of these runs back here that we gave up in the little kind of a cheap run, but that's baseball. Leading off for the Chargers, number 7, Austin Talley.
So I mentioned in the pregame, Austin comes in batting .457. He has 5 doubles, 1 home run, 13 RBIs, and 16 hits.
Yeah, and I really think it's his last 2 or 3 games, he's really been hitting the ball extremely well.
He was able to put his first 2 hit doubles last night came down the third baseline, were very well hit. And then that one was a gapper, this last one in extra innings. That one came in inside right there and just right off the handle. It's going to even it up 1-1. Like to see the Chargers aggressive there at the plate.
Yeah, Coach Young made a little lineup switch. As he's been batting the 3-hole, but he swapped, moved him down to the leadoff spot. And since then, he's seemed to have been, paying off for that move.
Yeah, it's one of those positions as far as it takes a little different mindset there to bat in that first spot, but he's done very well as far as, and it's one of those things I thought was been a good move there by Coach Young. But that one's fouled off Austin's left leg right there, left ankle. I think that one stung a little bit.
Yeah, you see major leaguers these days. I don't know if I've seen one that doesn't have one of those little ankle protectors on there for stuff like that. And you don't think much of it, but you get enough of theirs on your little shin, it's going to leave a mark.
One ball, 2 strikes. That's going to even it up 2-2 as that one was outside. We have the windows down in here, but you can really hear the wind coming in from right center. That's going to even things up as far as full count here for Talley.
Big gust of wind come through right there. I think it made Austin call a timeout.
You can hear it whistling a little bit. That was going to be hit into center field for the single for Talley, and he's going to, our stats won't be updated, but we're going to add a little bit to that batting average and going to pick up his 17th hit of the year.
Now batting for the Chargers, number 4, Austin Fulgham.
Austin Fulgham comes in batting .353, 12 hits, 11 RBIs, and 1 double.
Looking at Philadelphia's schedule earlier, they played a few tough teams and played them well, so they're not a team that we should be taking any lightly.
Stolen base there by Talley as he advanced to second base. Philadelphia has a lot of younger players. It's one of these teams that they've been playing varsity level baseball, I think, with a bunch of 8th graders that's advanced and up as far as they're starting to there will be a team probably to reckon with in the next couple of years as they've got some youth on this team, but it's been one that is getting better as you would expect with a young team. Little breaking ball there, and it broke out of the strike zone, and it was so the count's 2-1. That little wind movement, as far as I don't know if it was helping a little bit, looked like it might have, as that was a breaking ball again to Fulgham. It's 2-2.
Yeah, that flag in right center is really blowing it out to right big time.
low and outside. It's going to be another full count.
Hitter's doing a good job so far of being patient and waiting on a good pitch to hit.
That one was another breaking ball. It started out over the plate and broke out side, but Fulgham just tried to foul that one off and live for another pitch.
Yeah, he was just protecting right there just to make sure, because most of these hitters are taught at a young age when they start kid pitch that it's 2 strikes, anything close, you better be swinging.
And Fulgham there draws a walk.
Now batting for the Chargers, number 1, Adam Threadgill.
That was going to be the 11th walk drawn by Fulgham, and he is tied with Krim and also only trailing Utley. So Adam Threadgill steps in here with runners on first and second and a swinging foul ball right there. It's going to be 1 strike. Threadgill comes in batting .296. That one's low and away, 1-1.
Yeah, he was part of the lineup swap too earlier in the year, and so far has been holding his own.
Pass ball, and the runners are going to advance to second and third. That was a called strike.
That looked a little outside, but umpires aren't perfect. Get down. That's down.
That was hit to right center, and Threadgill's going to get 2 RBIs.
Now batting for the Chargers, number 23, Braden Hines.
We mentioned Hines in the pregame. He's one of the ones that has the highest batting average. Well, he does have the highest batting average on the team here with .514. He's had, which I had to scroll back and forth, I think he's had 19 hits and 18 RBIs, which he's had a lot of runners getting on base in front of him.
Yeah, he's been really hitting the ball well, and even when he's missing the ball, it's not by much, so he's seeing the ball really well.
As that one was a little bit over the chalk, but that's going to be the strike zone today, and if it's called both ways, we can deal with it.
That's right. You don't ask anything from an umpire, especially home plate, except just to be consistent. So if we can get that same one, then we can't argue too much.
That was going to be fouled back right at us there as far as over the top. Oh. And it did hit on the top.
Breaking ball way out of the zone, gets away from the catcher. Adam Threadgill advances to third.
So Parker Wood, the pitcher for Philadelphia, comes in with a 5.44 ERA. on the season.
I see he's second on the team in appearances, so he's one of their go-to guys.
So Hines comes in with the count 2-2. Fouls that one off. It's always that first out. So it's the hardest one to get.
That's right. And as a pitcher, when you have a team that fights and he gets 2 strikes and fouls a bunch of balls off, that tends to wear on you as a pitcher and gets you a little aggravated and makes you do some things that you don't normally would do.
Line drive into left, and looks like going to be maybe for extra bases. And he's going to pull up there with the single. But nice hit down the third base line for Hines.
Now batting, number 9, Calvin Talley. Yeah, he hit that ball very well, and he continues to stay hot and do some damage with the bat.
So Calvin Talley, the sophomore, he's one that's been a pleasant surprise here for the Chargers as he's came in and is playing, filling in a big spot for the Chargers in the field, and he's done a good job here at the plate as well on the season, batting .357. He's had 10 hits and 10 RBIs.
Yeah, his hitting's been a surprise, but where we really have enjoyed him the most is behind the plate, catching our pitchers, and he's done a really good job so far behind the plate, blocking up balls, and he's filled up a hole that we needed to fill after one of our seniors, Art Norwood, left last year.
Yeah, it was one of those question marks you really had for this team coming in.
Now batting for the Chargers, number 42, Tanner Threadgill.
All right, Tanner Threadgill, number 42, steps in as far as he's been the first baseman. Tanner Threadgill's been batting .347. Coach, let's see, the coach for there's going to be a pitching change for the Tornadoes.
Looks like they're going to bring in the shortstop. Let's see if I can find him right here.
Didn't he pitch for the Braves? Let's see.
He may stay with him.
Yeah.
They're going to stick with, looks like they're going to stick with Parker. It looked like he had intentions coming out there to go ahead and pull him, but he's going to stick with him.
So Tanner Threadgill steps in, the senior, batting .347. He's had 10 hits on the year, 6 RBIs, and 4 doubles.
And another, just like, Calvin last at bat, another, I guess you'd say, pleasant surprise, a position of need. We lost our first baseman last year to graduation, and so far Tanner's come in and done a pretty good job. Has been hitting rather well, playing some pretty good defense also at first.
Yeah, it's one of those things as far as he would say himself, he's had a few hiccups here and there because it's a new position. It's something he hasn't played before. But he has done really well, and I think that's one of the things he's going to get better as the year goes on.
Yeah, base hit to right.
So that's going to score Hines from third, and the Chargers are rolling.
Now batting for the Chargers, number 5, Dawson Jones.
Now, you mentioned Dawson Jones as far as not very many plate appearances for him, but he shows up. I've seen him as far as all these kids batting for a long time. He's got a great-looking swing. He's only had 2 at-bats, but 1 hit. So he's batting .500 on the season for the varsity. But
yeah, most of the time we see him on the mound, and he's done a fine job on the mound for us. But he's that one player that we go to when we need a position change that can also hit for himself whenever he's not pitching. He lines one off pretty hard, just a little behind it.
And a little behind my car as I looked as it went. As we had all this equipment, I parked down here, and normally don't park this close, but it was one that came right behind it too. As Woods comes inside there on Jones, evens count up 1-1.
There's been a countless number of windshields that's been damaged in that parking lot.
Yeah.
Still no one out here in the bottom half of the first inning for the Chargers.
We wondered how they'd respond after the late night and stuff. Might want to schedule more games, like this.
That's right.
So Tanner Threadgill advances to second base. We're on second and third.
As I would say, he's got ducks on the pond right here, Chris.
Jones has to reach for that breaking ball there and fouls it off, and he's able to live for another pitch.
I think he got fooled. I think he thought it was a fastball coming in, and judging by his swing, he wasn't expecting it to be a little wrinkle in it.
All right, the Tornadoes able to get the first out on the inning there as Jones with the strikeout.
Now batting number 12, Bryce Utley.
Now, Utley comes in here batting .273. He's had 22 plate appearances, 12 runs, 6 hits, 5 RBIs. But one of the things is jumps out I have to find, I think he has 13 walks on the year, but he's one that's going to make sure he usually strings at strikes.
Yeah, he's one of the guys in the lineup. You know, you have a few spots, of course, that when you want to hit that you want to have, but he's one of the guys in the lineup that you're comfortable with, that you feel pretty good that he's going to get on base whenever he's up there. Ooh, a little safety squeeze. Looks like it's executed perfectly.
Safe right there as he was able to get in the run right there. And like you said, just well-executed play there.
Now batting for the Chargers, number 2, Erik Jones. Yeah, that's just good baseball right there, Chris, as he pushed it down the line. No chance for them to get the runner at home, and it's just an extra that you beat it out and get on first. Erik Jones coming in, he's been struggling, but he's trying to fight out of it. He's I think I saw him was right at 200.
Yeah, 206.
But again, he's another guy that you know, if you make a mistake to him, he can punish it, and he can make you pay for it.
He's one of those ones too. If he gets on base, I know that you ideally not in the 9-hole, but he's almost like a second leadoff batter. I always seen him like that as far as, and he's one of the ones that really good as far as the way the lineup's done right now. As he gets on, he's one of the best base runners, and you got the hitter top of the lineup coming in right behind him.
He flies to right, wins, pushing it. They make the catch.
And tagging up is everybody, and no throw as both runners advance, and Threadgill scores from third, and that's going to make it 6-0.
Now batting for the Chargers, number 7, Austin Talley. Yeah, I thought for a minute that Wynn would fight with it. The right fielder did a good job of staying behind the ball and making a good catch. It was a little deep enough to score the run from third, though.
So the Chargers have batted around here in the first, and back to the top of the lineup as Talley is back up here. We're still with runner on third base is Utley.
It looks like our scoreboard, too, is got corrected from – I remember last week we played, we couldn't tell what number was on the home, and now it looks like it's reading pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard that they were here working on it several times this week, and it had been on a couple nights, so I think they had replaced several bulbs and things, and so we got it's easy to tell as far as there was a lot of discussion what the score was the other night. And that one's going to be lined out to second base, and that's going to do it here for the Chargers in the first inning.
Chargers score 6 runs on 5 hits. 2 men left. Tell him to mind his business.
Tell him his brother.
Just gave Bryce a big lead here. Let's see if he can just fill up the zone and get 3 outs. First pitch a little low and outside.
Yeah, with the jumped out here with the bat so hot. It's one of those things as far as you were at just want those strikes right here and make them earn it and make them hit the ball and play defense. That looked like he was grinning on the mound before he threw this pitch, and it
Ground ball to short.
And there was one of those growing pains that we were talking about as far as right there. It looked like a good throw from where I was, and just didn't. It was going to be a close play, but it was going to be an out there for the Chargers, and just going to be a error there on the first base.
Now batting, number 5, Jordan Davis. Yeah, that's a close one though. It could have been a better throw, but he's going to have to learn. You know, Austin has signed that you got to attack the balls and get rid of it. You know, because these runners can move, and that's what happens. Got a 2-0 count here. So this is a guy that we should just really feed a lot of strikes. I don't think he's going to beat us with the bat. Good job.
Yeah, we mentioned, let's see, as far as the young players for the Tornadoes. Yeah, number 5, Davis, right here, shows up as far as varsity. Only played in 2 games. Seventh grader.
Wow.
Utley comes back with another strike right there, evens it up 2-2. Chargers need this first out to get things rolling.
Fouls one straight back. Swing and a miss.
Utley's going to get a K in this inning. He was able to get 1 in the first.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, number 16, Jacy Beckham. He looks like another little, possibly junior high kid that he's not even listed on the roster, it looks like. He's about the same size as the guy that just walked out of there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to be a 7th grader probably for the Tornadoes.
Tell you what, if that coach could keep them boys going, they possibly could be doing some damage here in the next few years to come.
And Utley quickly picks up his 2nd strikeout. So we got 2 outs. Runner on first base.
Now batting for Philadelphia, number 9, Mark Hunt. The catcher coming up to bat.
Yeah, he's played in 13 games, got a batting average of 156.
Not a bad looking swing he's got. He's been doing decent behind the plate. I'm almost want to bet that he's in the lineup because of his defensive capabilities.
Yeah, 2 doubles on the year, 1 triple.
Good breaking ball right there by Bryce, as he still has a grin on his face.
Hunt here is a sophomore.
Okay. Uh-oh. Good hit ball to left. Looks like the wind's going to hold it up long enough for Austin to get under it, Austin Fulgham, and make the play. So after 1.5, there was 1 error, 1 man left, and it's 6-1 Choctaw County. For the Philadelphia, 1 man left, no runs scored. After 1.5, Choctaw County 6, Philadelphia 1. It's a lot better when you have somebody to run the music and you ain't got a retail barrier. Can they fly the flag half? Doesn't matter. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Due up for the Chargers here in the second half of the bottom of the 2nd inning. It's going to be Fulgham, Adam Threadgill, Braden Hines in the 3-hole, followed by Talley. So a little bit of the meat of the order here for the Chargers up. So looking to try to capitalize as far as try to keep the bats hot as they did in the 1st inning. As the Tornadoes are still sticking with Parker Woods on the mound.
Yeah, if you just look out there at Philadelphia's team, you can see that, they just got a lot of a young team. And like you said earlier, in years to come, be doing some damage possibly.
Yeah, Parker, let's see what he's listed at. He is a junior here on the mound.
Leading off for the Chargers, number 4, Austin Fulgham.
Fulgham's on-base percentage coming in the game was .532. Didn't mention that earlier, just sort of focused a little bit on his batting average, but
yeah, he doesn't. He's gonna put the ball in play, and make things happen most of the time. He's gonna leave there running most of the time.
Yeah. As he drew a walk in the 1st inning.
He's one of those kids that's going to give you everything he has every night, no matter what the situation.
Yeah, he's Mr. Hustle, so to speak, as far as that, and definitely puts a lot of effort in, and as far as he's consistent, that's all you can say.
Yeah, his mom and daddy got to be cleaning them jerseys every night after he's done, because he's going to be dirty.
So Fulgham quickly draws a 3-0 count. As he had the take sign on the 3-0, but that was a good-looking pitch, maybe to hit right there over the meat of the plate. But here's the pitch. Hit toward first base, and the play is made by Fox. It's going to be 1 out in the inning.
Now batting for the Chargers, number 1, Adam Threadgill. Yeah, he put the bat on the ball really well there. Ball took a bit of a short hop on the first baseman, and he bobbled it, but got it together and stepped on the base for the out, but Dawson just hit it right at him.
Good looking pitch there over the outside corner for our first strike. A little bit high in the zone as it's 1-1 on Threadgill.
Foul out of play.
Threadgill is one of those ones that doesn't draw a lot of walks, as far as only has 4 walks on the year. On base percentage is .406.
He likes to use that right side a lot. Takes one way out of the zone there.
It's one of these things that's been a little bit of a surprise as far as his hitting a lot more to that side and trying to go up the middle a little bit more. Pitcher nods off the first.
How he fights, that was a good 2-strike swing there. He got fooled, but he battled and fouled it off to stay alive and hopefully have a better outcome.
Yeah, Parker Wood there, he nodded off maybe the fastball and went to a little bit of a wrinkle like you said earlier. Full count. Here's the pitch.
Good at bat there by Adam to work a walk there. Now batting for the Chargers, number 23, Braden Hines.
It's one of those things as far as you do announce and you talk about somebody hardly draws a walk and that's the next thing they get.
That's right. You can almost write that down every time, especially, if somebody's got a no-hitter or something going. You talk about it, fly ball to right, looks like the right fielder gets under it, makes the play, not deep enough for a tag. And after one pitch, Braden Hines flies out to right. Now batting for the Chargers, number 9, Calvin Talley. I suspect we'll see a steal attempt here by Adam Threadgill to possibly get that runner in a scoring position with 2 outs for Calvin.
Yeah, Talley in his first at bat was hit by a pitch, and that was his 5th on the year. I'm trying to see as far as how that puts him on that maybe ties him for the lead right there as far as with Utley.
There goes the runner. I think he beats it anyway, but kind of not the best throw out, and gets past the shortstop, but not deep enough for Adam to go on to third. But nonetheless, Calvin has runners in scoring position now, and base hit right here will get a run in. He seems to keep missing it on that one side.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just falling off the mound a little bit that way as far as, but definitely coming, ball's tailing out of the zone.
And I think he just moved himself over on the mound a little bit to possibly correct some of that.
3-0 count here for Talley.
He works a 4-pitch walk there. Now batting for the Chargers, number 42, Tanner Threadgill. And coming out to speak with him, they are going to make the change this time. And looks like they will bring in the shortstop, number 1. Let me get his name, I believe I said it earlier, Jackson Ward. We'll be giving you his stats here in a minute. You know, I was watching him warm up, throw it across from short, and it did look like he had a live arm. And looking at his statistics, he's got a ERA of 6.30. He's got 1 win, no losses, 7 appearances. He leads the team in that category. And so I'm willing to bet that this is Philadelphia's main guy that they throw. It's a hard thing to pitch him whenever you're in the middle of district play, and you know you got games you really want to win, but you just got to do what you got to do, and when you can't, you got a pitcher up there that can't find the zone.
Yeah, it's probably not what they were expecting. It's probably wanted to get a lot of innings there out of Woods, but the Chargers came out, like I said, and went deep in a lot of counts, and really put the bat on the ball there in that first inning, and we're very smart at the plate all this game right here. So it's one of the things that led to Wood coming out of the game, but probably not how they drew it up as far as.
Yeah, the other night, we played East Webster, and we're going the last inning at 10-5. We're down, and they bring in their ace, if you will, and he struggles. And I was assuming they was going to bring him in. They thought maybe he'd throw 10, 15 pitches just to keep him loose for district play. And our boys battled, drew some walks, and before you knew it, they had to pull him. And I think we faced 3 different pitchers in that inning because of these new pitch count rules, you got to keep so many arms fresh for division.
Yeah, Coach Johnson over there, that's probably the way, like you said, drew it up. Didn't plan on it being like that, but the Chargers went as they had a district game. I don't know how it turned out. I'm sure the East Webster probably won last night, but we're playing Winona in a district game on Friday, so they didn't want to waste a whole lot of pitching either as well.
That's right. And Jackson Ward in the pitch, he's a junior, and just watching him warm up, looks like he's got some pretty good stuff. So Charger bats need to stay hot, and first pitch ball up in the zone. Tanner Threadgill fouls it straight back. Same pitch and the same result.
Well, yeah, a little bit on the handle right there as far as on Threadgill.
We got to battle here. I imagine here in the next few pitches he's going to see what kind of breaking ball he's got.
Either that or I would come a little bit higher in the zone, either one or the other, because he seems to be swinging right now at the high pitch. I would elevate it a little bit more.
And he threw the breaking ball in the dirt, and the runners advanced. I think they were on the move anyway, and so now we got runners at second and third. A hit scores 2 runs. But, yeah, you're right, Chris. As a hitter, the higher the ball is in the zone, especially eye level, the more it looks appealing to you, and you just can't really do nothing with it, especially if a guy's got a little bit of velocity on it. He gets in on his hands, jams him, fly ball to left. Looks like it's going to be a tough play. I don't know why our runners are tagging. Isn't that 3 outs?
I was thinking it was 3 outs.
Our guys don't know the situation. But nonetheless, no runs, no hits, 2 walks, 2 men left on. So after 2 complete, it's 6-1 Chargers. After 2 complete, Chargers 6, Philadelphia 1.
Yeah, just got to know as far as how many outs, as far as and be a smart base runner. It didn't make a difference in the play right there, but as far as you never know, as far as you would expect. And what you had right there, you had Threadgill on third, and you had Hunter Krim on second. You two seniors, and Krim was in running for Talley, the catcher. But it's one of the things you expect out of those seniors guys as far as really to know situational baseball, and that's one of those things as far as right there. Comes down to use it as these Saturday games as far as this one here, use it as a learning experience and try to build on it.
Well, I may want to take a little credit, Chris. When I was doing the inning there, I noticed I only had one out on the scoreboard, so that may have been what they were looking at. But nonetheless, you should know on the field what the situation is and not trust the scoreboard and know, because we all knew it was 2 outs, so we just never put it up there.
Well, I hope they don't dock our pay.
If they do mine, I'm going to owe them money.
That's what I was saying. So it will be.
Oh, man. Leading off for the Tornadoes, number 11, Parker Wood. Back to the top of the lineup here for Philadelphia.
As Parker drew a walk in the first inning.
Yeah, and since that first inning, and now it seems like Bryce has a better feel for the mound and the zone, and as that ball's a little in, I would, the way he was calling that outside pitch, I would have thought that pitch would have gave, but he calls the outside part a little bit better than he does the inside part, it looks like. Another breaking ball right there.
And then Ludwig slaps his glove. He's thinking that was a strike right there. Wood comes in batting .366. He has 14 runs, 15 hits, 2 RBIs, and 1 double.
Just like you said, as soon as you say something about, I just said it looked like Utley's fine in the zone, and now we got a 3-1 count. But to his credit, he's not missing by much. He's just not getting that call. He needs to work outside half better. He just threw 3 straight in the same spot that he didn't call. And I mean, if he's not calling it, we just got to work somewhere else at it as he walks the first batter. Now batting for the Tornadoes, number 21, Griffin Gentry. And I think Griffin Gentry, the first inning, he flew out.
That is right. He flew out. And I always make an emphasis as far as that first out of the inning, as far as that first batter right there, getting the out as far as, and usually draw a walk as far as a lot of times that run is the person's the one that score or has a good potential of scoring right there, and that's what happened in the first inning. Yeah,
like you said in the first inning, that first out seems to be the hardest, and I believe we had 4 runs before they got 1 out, and as a pass ball goes right there and kicks off far enough away that the runner advances to all the way to third. I mean, that's just one of those things that kicked off far enough and got all the way by the first base dugout. I don't know if that's 2-1 or. There we go.
Yeah, ground ball hit up the middle right there. Talley makes a great play and put out across to Threadgill.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, number 23, Deandre Fox.
But put the bat on the ball enough to get the runner in from third base, and that's going to be Parker Wood scores in the first and the third inning as the 2 runs there for the Tornadoes.
Yeah, he's walked to lead off both innings that he's batted. And both of those runs come around to score as line drive to the left, and Austin Fulgham lays out, makes a nice play to save an extra base hit. Now batting for the Tornadoes, number 22, Boogie Bingham. And I believe that was the guy, Deandre was the guy that had the double in the first inning, if I may be mistaken.
He is. And
so he's hit the ball hard twice.
And then one of those ones coming right at you as far as is one of the harder balls as far as to play, I think, as far as an outfielder right there is coming straight towards you.
Yeah, you don't know whether to back up or come up, and it's just the first few steps are key, and Austin Fulgham did a good job there of just kind of sitting quiet, and then he realized what he needed to do as he gets a strike call on the ball that he hadn't been getting here the last few batters. Even the count up at 1-1. But yeah, it made a great play to potentially save a double, or if it gets by him, that you never know. That may be a triple or possibly inside the park home run.
For sure.
Fly ball to short center. Yeah, it falls in between our right center fielder. It was not hit deep enough, and it was just a bloop single for the Tornadoes. Now batting for the Tornadoes, number 4, Will Wood. I think this guy's playing third, and he is another kid that just doesn't look like an underclassman. He slaps one up the middle. Austin Taleno makes a nice play to get out of it. So for that inning, for the Tornadoes, they have 1 run on no hits and 1 man left on. It's 6-2 after 2.5. 1 run on no hits, 1 man left for Philadelphia. After 2.5, Choctaw County 6, Philadelphia 2. Well, when they came out. Yeah, that guy that just batted is an 8th grader. So we've seen 3 so far that we know that is 7th and 8th graders. Like I said, one of them, heck, he may be a 6th grader. We don't know because he's not even on the roster.
Not even listed there. Yeah.
So, Philadelphia, while, going through some growing pains now, possibly in the future, looking pretty bright. And we talked about the guy on the mound. It looks like he's got some pretty decent stuff as a junior. So, if these kids continue to grow and come in their own, I mean, the 8th grader that we're talking about is playing third base. I mean, a position of need, and he's done well so far.
That he has, as far as that we had played them last year as far as being a district game, and we had played them a couple times. And I think the last time we played them sort of with our junior high maybe and stuff as far as, but we have a good group of underclassmen as far as some of the ones that's going to be coming up as far as well, but end up going to be definitely some tough competition.
Yeah, it looks like it. And they're in 2A. Leading off for the Chargers, number 5, Dawson Jones. And you're right, we have some good younger class coming up, and really all around football, baseball, and basketball. Looks like the future's pretty bright for Choctaw County.
Yeah, it's going to be. We mentioned all these seniors as far as for the Chargers, so they're definitely going to have a lot of new faces next year as far as that.
Dawson Jones, first pitch swinging, hits a hard ground ball to short. Shortstop makes a nice play and gets him out at first. Now batting for the Chargers, number 12, Bryce Utley.
So Utley in his first at bat got a hit, so he's coming up as far as here, looking to try to get the Chargers going here in the bottom of the third.
That wind really blowing in. Well, it's kind of in the face, then blowing out to right, in between. As Bryce fouls one up to right, I think the wind's going to carry that one foul and out of play, or land right there by the bullpen.
Yeah, could have been a dangerous play over there with that.
I tell you what, if you have a close play right there, that could really get somebody if they ain't paying attention. Gets in on his hands, fouls it straight back to stay alive. Still a 0-2 count. Bryce has been a tough out in the lineup for us.
when you look at his on base percentage, I think it's 600.
Wow. Yeah, that's something that people don't look at a lot. They look at average, but that on base percentage tells a lot of the story of what a player means. And as Chris said earlier, if you say something that somebody doesn't do much, then they tend to do it right after you say it, as he strikes out, swing and a miss. Now batting for the Chargers, number 2, Erik Jones. Maybe I should just say whenever somebody comes up, hey, he strikes out a lot, maybe we'll hit one over the fence. Or he hasn't hit a home run all year. Erik takes one inside for a ball.
Yeah, Jones here in our last home game got one elevated to left field and thought it had a chance. It was a night game. You know, the air's a little thicker as far as it seems. The ball doesn't travel as well. But he hits that one into left field right there for the single. And Jones, we're going to have a first base runner here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, I thought he got that one the other night. Now batting for the Chargers, number 7, Austin Talley. And the left fielder made really a spectacular play. I don't know how close he was to the fence, but it looked from the stands as they were almost to rob him as he catches it and hits the fence. But, I mean, just a great play and nothing you can do but tip your cap to the left fielder. Ball a little outside. Zone seems to be shrinking a little bit on that side.
As we were last night at Talley, they had they had a very large fence as far as built up some of it was deeper in right center than anywhere else as Jones tries to advance to second base, and he's still second.
Yeah, he's a good base runner and got a good jump there, and almost nothing the catcher could do, even with a good throw, could not get him.
But had sort of like the Fenway Park had the big green monster, but it was big and blue, I guess, out there. But it was, I thought we'd probably see something hit off the wall out there, but didn't last night. But it was maybe 325 and maybe got 325, maybe even center field. It was not very deep as far as what you would expect. But did not see one hit off there, but this is one of the things as far as I know Austin had a home run here earlier in the year and also has Hines, but it's one thing I hadn't seen a whole lot in the last couple of years. I know the bats are different as far as now with the BB Core bats, and never saw a ton of home runs hit on this ball field as far as that. But as Jones is thrown out going to third base.
Yeah, he saw the ball in the dirt, and the catcher, he thought the catcher was going to boot it or something. The catcher just gloved it and throwed it right over, and really no chance for him. After 3 complete, Chargers 6, Philadelphia 2. So after that inning for the Chargers, we had one hit, one man left. No man left as he gets thrown out at third. No runs scored. Who do? They're still playing. He's 1 for 2 and done all right.
So Utley back on the field here for the Chargers going into the top of the 4th. The Chargers are up 6-2. And jumped out, got all these 6 runs in the first inning. Due up for Philadelphia is going to be the 6, 7, and 8 batters.
Leading off for the Tornadoes, number 1, Jackson Ward. Yeah, after that first inning, bats have kind of quieted down, and has a hard shot to shortstop. Talley comes up and throws. 1 pitch, 1 out for the Chargers.
Yeah, sort of how you want it. 1 pitch, 1 out.
I tell you, there ain't nothing better as a pitcher's friend than go out there and throw. I didn't want to say it until he took one, throw 3 pitches and 3 outs. There's no keep the pitch count low.
Davis here at the plate for the Tornadoes. One of these ones I think we looked up, maybe there was a 7th grader here, struck out in the 2nd inning.
You almost, I don't want to say feel sorry for him, but you don't feel whenever one of them, Braden makes a nice play. The guy hits a chopper down the line, backhands to Braden Hines, but too far to his left to have a play as the guy gets an infield single. Braden almost made a nice play on that.
Yeah, I pulled off of him to.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, number 12, Patrick Miller. As we got a pinch hitter here, number 12, Patrick Miller. Yeah, it's hard to do it when I'm up here trying to talk on the PA and you're trying to talk. It's a little different, but it won't be too bad.
Yeah, well, I saw Hines, so I saw him glimpse. He made a great play to field the ball because it was going straight down the line over the base, sort of, and it would have been a heck of a throw. But then I tried to look the other way, so I didn't see it come across the.
Yeah, he had too much of his momentum going, carrying him into foul territory, and I tell you, if he doesn't glove it, the guy more than likely will get a double there. So I mean, even though the guy got on base and it didn't happen like we liked, it's still a good play to hold him to a single.
Really, Talley there making a couple throws over to first base, trying to hold that runner. But I saw my brother had showed me a video last night as far as one of spring baseball or one of some of the major league, as far as the no-look pick off to first, as far as from the catcher. It's a pretty good YouTube video if you want to watch it from this last week, as far as the catcher didn't even look that way, sort of was blocked up and threw one to first and got the out right there. It was a pretty nice special play right there.
The runner was keeping his eye on the catcher, and the catcher kept his mask looking straight toward the pitcher and just flipped one to the first baseman right on the money. And I mean, it's one of those that only major league players can do it.
Yeah,
and that's why they make millions of dollars to do that. Now batting for the Tornadoes, number 9, Mark Hunt. As Bryce Utley gets the strikeout there, 2 outs here in the inning, and he's facing the 9-hole hitter.
Unofficially, I think that's Utley's 4th strikeout.
He's done well of mixing his locations, and it's only been hit hard really twice. It's just the leadoff walks have come back to haunt him, and leadoff walks, and then once a man gets on, we'll have a pass ball, and just one of those things you give up a cheap run, but like we keep saying, that's baseball, and you got to try to limit that. And I think we did a good job last night, as there was a couple of times where we had bases loaded, no outs, and then give up a few, maybe 1 or 2 runs, but then bring somebody in and they limit the damage and keep us close. As a weak hit ground ball to short, Austin Slano comes up, makes the play. So for the Tornadoes there in the 4th, no runs off 1 hit, 1 man left as we head to the bottom of the 4th. For the Tornadoes in the 4th, no runs off 1 hit, 1 man left after 3.5. Choctaw County 6, Philadelphia 2.
This way, Erik Jones.
Yeah, we're talking about being hit hard twice. Deandre Fox, the number 23, I think, as far as that right? Fox, number 23. He's a freshman there. So he's one of those bright spots there for the Tornadoes.
And he's a big kid. He wasn't one of the ones I would say it was an underclassman. He looks, I bet he was a heck of a football player too, the way his body size looks.
I'm sure he probably gets some action down there. I would almost bet he's one of those dual sport athletes.
Yeah, Philadelphia had a good year this year in football. Made it to the 3rd round, I believe, just the same as the Chargers, and I think was beat out by Calhoun City, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and they said that was a heck of a ball game down there, as far as in the boneyard, I think. But ended up, it was. We knew that Philadelphia was my pick as far as to win it last year, as far as dropping down from 3A to 2A, but that And that's what actually right there as far as that game right there with Philadelphia and Calhoun City. I think Calhoun City came out of that game so limping into the next week going into the Winona game, I think, for the north half, as far as it really took their toll on that team.
Yeah, I talked to a couple of buddies that was at the game, and they said there was some big-time physical football going on in that game, and that can take a toll, as we talked with Coach Ashley before the game, that's happened several times with some teams that not necessarily they won the game the week before, but they were so beat up that the next week they were just out of it because of the week before took such a toll. Your brother. Leading off for the Chargers, number 7, Austin Toleno. As we got the top of the lineup coming up for us, Austin Toleno leading off. I know he's got 1 hit today. I think he's 1 for 2 with a line drive up the middle and a line out to the second baseman.
Yeah, he had got both his at-bats in the first inning and then was up to the plate last inning when Jones got thrown out going to third base.
You know, that's something you never want to do is make the third out at third. That's just baseball knowledge and something we could do a better job at. As Austin takes a pitch there and dang near gets hit with it for ball inside. Base hit through the left side as Austin Toleno continues to hit the ball well. Now batting for the Chargers, number 4, Austin Fulgham. Looked like he may have got fooled a little bit out in front and was able to sneak it through in between the shortstop and the third baseman. And now we have Austin Fulgham coming to the plate.
Called strike 1.
Austin has walked and he has grounded out to first base, but he scored a run back in the first in that 6-run first inning where we scored all our runs and then put the bats to rest. Hopefully we can change that this inning. Go.
That one got past the first baseman, just didn't get a little bit far enough as far as I thought Toleno was going to be an advance to second base, but just didn't scoot far enough past Fox right there.
Yeah, you want to really make sure whenever something like that happens that it gets away far enough that you can take the next base with ease, and he didn't feel like it was, so it's no need to take a chance right there. As Austin Fulgham works a 3-1 count. Going to get a good pitch to hit right here. He takes one up and in. I think I called that. Now batting for the Chargers, number 1, Adam Threadgill. So up to bat is Adam Threadgill. He's walked his first. No, he got to hit his first at bat, a double to right, 2-run double, 2 RBIs, and then he walked his second at bat. So he's 1 for 1. He takes a strike right there, swings and misses at a strike. 1 for 1 on the day with 2 RBIs. So see if he can stay hot right here. And his second at bat, I remember, was a good at bat. He, in fact, was at a 0-2 count, and he hits one, laces one into center field right over the shortstop's glove, and they're going to send the runner, it looks like, and not a good enough throw into home as Austin Toleno scores. Adam Threadgill now with 3 RBIs on the day he stays at first, and Austin Fulgham stayed at second. Now batting for the Chargers, number 23, Braden Hines.
Sort of froze everybody as you couldn't tell if it was high enough it was going to get over the shortstop's head, so everybody sort of had to pause.
Yeah, shortstop jumped and just barely couldn't get it, and like you said, had everybody staying put, and that's why we weren't able to take the extra bases there from first to third. And Braden Lines one through the 6 hole, and he's sending Austin Fulgham. Looks like he's going to come in and score, and again, another RBI single and for Braden Hines. Now batting for the Chargers, number 9, Calvin Talley.
The Chargers here in the fourth trying to capitalize like they did in the first.
Yeah, I was saying it's looking a lot like it did in the first so far, as no man has been recorded out, as I probably just jinxed us right there. But no man has been recorded out, and we've got runners on first and second with a pretty good hitter for us coming up with Calvin Talley. And the ball goes behind him, and there's no play as the runners move up a base. And so now second and third for Talley. Talley's got a good bloodline as his DeCenzo Miller's oldest son. So a lot to live up to there.
Yeah, no doubt as far as. Yeah.
Oh, he hits him that time.
And that is his second hit by pitch, as he was hit by pitch in the first inning. That's going to load the bases up for the Chargers.
And the first one was behind him. Now batting for the Chargers, number 42, Tanner Threadgill. If I wasn't a smarter man, I would say they were doing it on purpose, but I don't think that was on purpose.
Yeah, so he had Talley has drawn a walk in the second and the 2 hit by pitches. Now Threadgill comes up Tanner. He got a hit in the first. He flew out in the second inning.
That looked like a pretty good pitch but he hasn't, like I said, he hasn't been calling that pitch all day long. He grounds one to third. He stabs it, steps on third. Not able to get the run out at first as Tanner Threadgill falls. We thought he may have hurt himself, but he gets right back up. He's going to score the run and make it 9-2 Chargers. Now batting for the Chargers, number 5, Dawson Jones.
Does get the run, but Hines gets out going to third base. Krim is in running for Talley, so Krim is on second base. So Jones K'd in the first, ground ball out on his first pitch in the third.
Weak ground ball to third, and it gets under him. And the shortstop makes a heck of a play and almost gets the force out still at third, but nothing there. So Dawson reaches on an error.
Yeah, I think Coach
now
over there was
Chargers number 12, Bryce Utley.
Coach was over there, I think, talking to maybe to Krim a little bit about getting over to third base, as you had to move on that ground ball.
And Krim is a guy who I've seen that can really run. So I wonder what that conversation was like there. As we have the bases loaded now with 1 out for Bryce Utley.
Utley got a hit in the first and a strikeout in the third.
Pretty good hit ball to short. Looks like they're going to. They get the force out at second, but unable to turn the double play as we score a run on the fielder's choice. Now batting for the Chargers, number 2, Erik Jones. As the Chargers push across another run, make it 10-2 here in the fourth. See if they can add some more. Not quite exactly like the first inning, but good enough that we'll take it. Erik takes a strike on the inside part of the plate.
Jones flew out in the first inning, got a hit in the third. So Jones can get on here. The Chargers will have batted around.
As we send the runner, and a guy gets it inside on Jones, and he turns on it, but it pulls it foul. And Chris, looking over here at the Charger dugout, looks like we got a few JV guys warming up. So this may be some of these guys' last at bat here this inning, as he may start putting some of the younger Chargers in. And Erik Jones takes a strike 3, looking. But after 4 complete, Chargers 10, Philadelphia 2. For the Chargers in the 4th, 4 runs off 3 hits, 3 men left. After 4, Chargers 10, Philadelphia 2. Looks like we're making some changes here, as we got number 25 going to play third base. That's going to be
Tylen Carter.
Tylen Carter. Don't have him. Oh, they just doesn't have his number. Shortstop's going to be
Xavier Coleman.
Xavier Coleman. That's Shaston Coleman's son.
Yep, and going out to left is going to be Quez McNeil.
And then first base will be 26 Logan Murphy. Right field.
And it's going to be number 13, I think, was Brian Threadgill.
Okay.
And I can't, Justin Jenkins is going to be number 6. So it's like on his numbers in center field.
So like Peyton Busby coming in also to catch for the Chargers. So almost a complete change. Is the only one still in is Bryce Utley on the mound and Dawson Jones playing second. So we're going to get a look at the Charger future here. With these guys, of course, we know what they can do. We've seen them play in JV games and stuff like that. So, but it's good to get this. It's something different about playing in a varsity game.
Yeah, and looks like maybe
a swap.
Yeah,
Quiz.
Put Peyton Cade maybe. I don't know if that's number 18.
Yeah, that's 18.
Peyton Cade maybe going to left.
And then sliding Dawson out at second and moving Quez McNeil, who we thought would be in left, at second. So shows that he's a little versatile and can play multiple positions.
With the Chargers, I was looking for us if we could have got a few more runs. That could have done the ball game right there if we could have added 2 more in that inning, right? As far as been 12-2 in the.
That's right.
Yeah. So.
And then let these guys get an inning in, but at least now they'll, hopefully we'll get 3 outs and hopefully they'll get some at bats.
So Carson Betts is one of the guys that's done a lot of hind catching as far as for the JV a little bit this year. So we're getting to see Peyton Busby maybe first time this year.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, number 11, Parker Wood. Parker Wood up. He's walked both times and been the only runner to score for Philadelphia. First pitch swinging, ground ball straight to Quez McNeil, and he fields it on 1 hop, throws him out at first, and 1 pitch, 1 out for the Chargers.
A little reminiscent of last inning.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, number 21, Griffin Gentry. Looking here, it looks like Philadelphia only brought 11 players. Oh, and a good breaking ball right there by Bryce Utley as he gets ahead with a first pitch strike. Hard ground ball to Tylen Carter. He makes a good play, stays in front of it, fields it, throws him across, gets him out. Nice play by Tylen Carter. Now batting for the Tornadoes, number 23, Deandre Fox. This has been the only guy in the lineup, Chris, that's really put the bat on the ball hard, and he's done it both times. We'll see what happens here. He starts him off with a breaking ball, low and away. But he looks like he'll be a pretty good ball player.
Yeah, he's been able to barrel it up both times to the plate so far.
Another breaking ball, gets in on his hands. Tylen Carter makes a diving attempt, comes off his glove. I think he'd have been better served if he lets it go through to the shortstop. But when you're in the game, you're trying to make a play. That's, we'll take that hustle play.
Yeah, if he could have kept his feet maybe right there.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, number 22, Boogie Bingham.
You call that a hit as that was in between right there? You give that a one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd give him a hit.
Yeah.
It'd have been a tough play for shortstop as well.
Yeah. But that one right there, if he could keep Carter can keep his feet right there as he goes, he got the momentum going toward first base, but needs to take a different angle to the ball if he's going to get that ball going toward first.
Get up. Line drive by Boogie Bingham into center field, gets over the outstretched glove of the Coleman, the short. So a single up the middle, and Philadelphia has a little life here, first and second with 2 outs. Now batting for the Tornadoes, number 4, Will Wood. And this is one of the many 7th or 8th graders that they have. He's been playing third base, and that ball's going to be out of play.
Yeah, he had had a fly out in the first and a ground ball out in the third.
Yeah, he's up there. He looks like he's just slapping at it kind of. But, you can't complain when you're a 7th grader facing juniors and seniors, kids that are 5 years older than you.
Yeah, a lot of times you might see a lefty like that as far as at least show bunt the first time, as far as maybe try to, if you're going to slap it that way, try to bring in that third baseman even a little bit more. But Carter is playing in front of the bag right there. But a little target here, strike zone for Utley. And
that's ball down in the dirt now. It's 1-2 as he worked ahead early in the count. So it's still ahead here. It leaves that one out and up. So Will Wood has worked it to a 2-2 count here with runners on first and second. Chargers still leading 10-2 here in the top of the 5th. Looks like he fouls that one, fights it off down in the bullpen.
And the 7th grader having to make the adjustment to the different bat as far as, the drop 3 as far as a little bit, and high school pitching.
And in 7th grade, heck, he's still playing probably 13-year-old travel baseball, and that's mounds moved up.
Yeah,
so, it's just but you're exactly right as far as the bat. They go from playing travel ball where they can use, I think, all the way down to a drop 11, and then move up into high school ball where it goes to a drop 3. It's a big adjustment for kids. Bryce Utley strikes him out. So for the Tornadoes there in the 5th, no runs off 2 hits, 2 men left, and Chargers lead 10-2 after 4.5. For the Tornadoes in the 5th inning, no runs off 2 hits, 2 men left. After 4.5, Chargers 10, Tornadoes 2. 24, Coleman.
All right, we got Zay Coleman up to bat here for the Chargers. He's batting into Lano's spot. And
Looks
he's
like
sliced one to the left.
Oh, wow. And number 16, that is, Jacy Beckham makes a nice little running catch there.
This is going to be Quez McNeil.
Oh, man. They got me scrambling up here trying to do.
And next I see on deck over there, looks like Brian Threadgill is the next one.
Threadgill.
Quez swings on that one. That's going to be, he's going to be in the hole 0-2.
I tell you, these guys up here don't get enough credit for sticking with and making things go smooth.
That one's fouled off as McNeil was battling there at the plate. McNeil, one of these guys that has a lot of speed right here. If he can put one in play, he always has a chance.
Yeah, he put that speed on display there in the fall when about every Friday night. But one I can remember is when he picked up a fumble against Aberdeen and took it about 90 yards, and a good night for the Chargers against Aberdeen.
Yeah, when not a freshman as far as anymore when it comes to football. He matured definitely during the season. As
he hits a ground ball up the middle, it's going to be a tough play. Then shortstop fields it nicely and throws him out. Now batting for the Chargers, number 13, Brian Threadgill.
Threadgill had a couple of bats in the JV game yesterday at Hadley, both times one up the middle, one time off the pitcher.
Takes one in for a ball.
Draws the first two pitches are balls. Counts 2-0.
A little out in front there. Getting cloudier and cloudier as the day goes on.
All right, 3-1 count. That's going to be Talley and Carter on deck if he can get. Got a full count as that pitch definitely was a strike on the outside corner.
That was a good 3-1 pitch there.
And we got a gift there as far as it looked like.
Now batting for the Chargers, number 25, Talley and Carter. Yeah, it looked like it may have caught the part of the plate, but you know, you never know sometimes. In fact, Brian didn't know whether to run back to the dugout or go down to first as Talley and Carter grounds off softly to second baseman. So for the Chargers in the fifth, no runs, no hits, one man left as we head to the sixth. For the Chargers in the fifth, no runs, no hits, one man left. After 5, Chargers 10, Philadelphia 2. Looks like we have a new pitcher coming in for the Chargers. It'll be number 42, Tanner Threadgill. As I don't know if he's had an appearance this year.
Yeah, I don't know if he has either. I'm going to see if I can look that up.
I know he's been throwing some bullpens. Spoke with the coaches before the game, and they had told me he was first up for in the pen, but
now Now, he did pitch somewhere. It could have been a JV game because, but he did pitch because they were talking about, and I know it was mentioned to us earlier, as I remember watching, he has a, and maybe it was at Louisville over spring break is maybe where he had pitched one of those games earlier there. I think it was maybe against Columbus or one of those teams there. But because he had his knuckleball sometimes has a lot of movement on it, you don't know which direction it's going. So let's see if we can have him pitching stats there on.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, he throwed one about 40 feet. And I think that was what it was. I didn't know that he threw a knuckleball. And if that is a pitch that you can master, that is a very tough pitch to hit. There's been several guys who could throw good knuckleballs in the major leagues. That's all they could throw.
Even toward the end of their career, came in as far as I forget, as far as a couple years ago, as far as came in.
To the Wakefield for Boston.
Yeah.
You had R.A. Dickey now.
Yeah, that's the one that was at.
I think he's with the Mets now. He made his name for himself with the Blue Jays. But, yeah, the knuckleball is a special pitch because most knuckleballers can't throw 80 miles an hour, and they're throwing in the big leagues where guys are throwing 95 plus, and that's all they're throwing. So you know what's coming every pitch, and they still can't hit it. So that tells you how dominant that pitch can be.
Leading off for Philadelphia, number 1, Jackson Ward.
Jackson Ward steps into the plate. He has, looks like he reached on an error and then a ground ball to first. So he's 0 for 2 on the day as Tanner Threadgill starts him off with a strike. Looked like pretty right down the middle, and maybe Jackson Ward taking all the way just to see what he's going to see from Tanner. So checking out a new pitcher. Oh.
That was the knuckle.
There was the knuckleball there, and as you can tell by the swing and the miss by the catcher, and Tanner started him off 0-2 here, looking okay. But this is where it gets interesting when you have a 2-strike count, and how many pass balls, swinging strike threes is going to reach on first. Hopefully none. And there it is. Not a bad pitch. Ball outside. Counts now 1-2 to Ward.
Yeah, that second pitch he had, as far as you could see, it froze pretty good.
And he's missed twice on that side now, 2-2. Still ahead here, but you really, when you start a guy 0-2, don't want to get to that 3-2 count. You just would like to go ahead and finish him off here.
As that one outside as well as.
Yeah, that's what you live with when you throw that pitch. That's why you don't see it so often, because it's so hard to master that. As we're looking up here now, as he takes one up and in for ball 4, and as he starts a 0-2 count, works his way back. But looking at Tanner's statistics, he's got a 0 ERA, 1 appearance, and like Chris was saying, in one of them spring break games.
Now batting, number 5, Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis steps in for the, and he is struck out and got a base hit. So he's 1 for 2 on the day and takes ball 1 low in the dirt.
Yeah, I can't tell as far as I talked to him one time about Tanner when he gets there. As far as I can't tell when he's definitely getting his grip, as far as he'll really steady it, as far as in his.
Yeah, you can tell he's digging deep in that glove, trying to get a good grip on it. Now he's struggling to find the zone. I believe that is now 6 straight balls.
And it's part of the lineup right here where you're getting to for the Tornadoes, where it's a small strike zone, and it's going to really have to try to throw something that looks appealing at least.
That's right. Ball 3 now.
And with the 10-2 lead, it's one of the things that you have to do right now is throw strikes.
Yeah, and it's a good opportunity for him to come in and work. But at the same time, like you said, you want to see him come in and throw strikes, or he's going to have to give the ball to somebody else. And ball up and in. Ball 4 now. Philadelphia has runners on first and second with nobody out.
Now batting number 16, Jacy Beckham.
That's the little left fielder that made the nice little run and catch earlier. And he's struck out both his plate appearances, so hopefully Tanner can continue that as he finds a strike there and start him off 0-1. So glad to see him find the zone right there. And as you can tell by some of these guys' swing what you can get them out with, and right there he pretty much blew a fastball by him. So if I would be shocked if I saw anything but a fastball here. 0-2 count. As Tanner gives a look back at the runner on second, and he gets back standing up with no throw. Ooh, that one looked good, but he called it a ball. 1-2.
You can probably hear on our mic still some wind noise. It's really still whipping around as far as you'll see some gust every once in a while, and you can actually see some dust kick off the field.
And there's fastballs by him, strikes 3 swinging as Tanner gets the first out of the inning.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, number 9, Mark Hunt.
Yeah, you know the wind's blowing pretty bad when you can hear it in your microphone and you don't even have the windows up.
Yeah.
You got them halfway, just a little bit showing, and it's getting through there, whizzing on by.
Mark Hunt here is one of the ones that you mentioned as far as had a pretty good looking swing. He had a fly out as far as in the second inning and a ground ball out in the fourth, but he's put the bat on the ball. We showed him batting only as far as maybe 150. Let me see, as far as number 9, he's 156,
yeah.
But really he's had a couple doubles and a triple, so he's put the bat on the ball.
Yeah. Tanner gets one in on him right there on his hands, and he fights it off, and I believe I have that first pitch right as a strike. I want to see if he can hold up the count here. Let me see if he'll do it. Make sure I'm right. They don't ever do it when you want them to. They'll do it when you're not looking. And he doesn't hold up anything. So we're just going to go with 0-2. I believe it is. I believe that's correct. Ball up and in. Yeah. 1-2 count here to the 9-hole hitter with runners on first and second. Chargers leading here in the 6th, 10-2. Fouls one straight back.
Out of balls as far as the home plate here. And he's done fouled off a few extra.
We've had quite a bit this game that's gone out, and I tell you, if you don't stay on them, that'll get expensive really quick. I went to buy some balls the other day, and if you want to buy the good balls, you better be willing to pay a little extra money if you want a bunch of them.
Well, I remember when we used to, a long time ago, used to have the Cokes, I guess, maybe by the fountain or stuff, and if you brought it back, somebody you at least got a piece of gum, got a Coke or something.
That's right. That's
all
right.
those foul balls got brought back.
That's exactly right. Good pitch, good looking pitch there by Threadgill, just misses outside. So 2-2 count here. But yeah, I believe you. Ball in the dirt, skips away from Peyton Busby, and the runner's going to move up 90 feet. That's going to bring a full count here to the 9-hole guy with the top of the order coming around. A couple of guys that are Philadelphia's good ball players coming up. We want to go ahead and try to get this guy out.
Yeah, and want to really try to keep that force as far as the
That's right.
right there, and lost that as far as Threadgill here on the money pitch.
He's going to step off and throw to third. Trying to pick off there.
Masters next weekend. Or next week. I was saying next weekend.
Man,
but,
that gets me in the mood. Every time I see that pretty course, I just get mad because I can't play it.
Oh, yeah.
Pop up to the infield. Wind's going to do some tricks. No, that's going to carry out to the left field, and Wind's going to do some tricks. But we make the catch. Catch is made by number 18, and that is Peyton Cade. And nobody, it's not deep enough to get a run home, so runners stay put where they're at with 2 outs.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, number 11, Parker Wood.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be an outfielder today with the way the wind's pushing it, but so far, you know, we haven't seen anybody misplay a fly ball due to the wind pushing it. They've all made some pretty nice plays.
Yeah, they hadn't seen any outfield errors as far as related to the wind, and the only ones we've really seen have been some ground balls, some different little things here and there as far as just a few errant throws and stuff as far as, but very little on either side.
We're back up to the top of the lineup here with the Parker Wood, and he has walked twice, scored on the 2 Philadelphia's of only runs, and grounded out to short his last plate appearances. He's a pretty good little ball player here as he fouls one to the right side out of play, and even the count at 1-1. Tanner seemed to have settled down a little bit since throwing about 8 straight balls. He's coming back and going around the zone now.
And one thing the Tornadoes have done a good job, but they've left players, runners on base in every inning as far as they've had base runners.
They just haven't been that's a good pitch right there as it catches outside part of the plate at 1-2. But you're right, Chris. They getting runners on. They just can't do nothing when they get them on. So just missing some timely hits, and that'll come with experience. And it's a very, very, very young team. Hard hit ball to second baseman. One hops to Quez. He makes a nice play and throws him out at first. So in that inning, I believe they had no runs, no hits, but 2 men left after 2 walks. So nothing doing for Philadelphia in that inning. So after 5.5, it is the Chargers 10, Tornadoes 2.
No runs, no hits, 2 men left for the Tornadoes. After 5.5, Chargers 10, Philadelphia 2.
Yeah, that's 8. They've left. Tornadoes have stranded 8 here in these first 6 innings. And right now going into the bottom of the 6th inning, Chargers have left on 7.
Yeah, I believe one of those innings the bases were loaded that we left there.
Sure was, yeah. Chargers this next week will be at Nettleton, I think, on Tuesday night. Mike can pull up a little bit on Nettleton while we're.
I believe I looked at it earlier. We'll get it, but I believe Nettleton is 3-1 in division play, as they beat Aberdeen twice and they split the series with South Pontotoc. I believe they lost to South Pontotoc by 1 run last night. South Pontotoc had beaten them earlier in the week, 5-4. So they split and actually had the same amount of runs scored because they both got beat by 1 run. But
yeah, 7-3, so similar record as the Chargers, are 8-3, 3-1 in district, and have a game today, I guess, versus Belmont. So it says game in progress right now.
Leading off for the Chargers, number 10, Peyton Busby.
Peyton Busby was one of these guys that got some at-bats yesterday. And I guess maybe even earlier in the week. Let's see.
Fouls one straight back there.
A junior comes into the game here batting, well, 0-7-1. As far as had see, 16, 14
Looks
plate appearance is going to fly out. Maybe the
third baseman's going.
Yeah.
Flies out to the third baseman there as he gets kind of jammed on one and hits it up in the air, and they make the play.
So he's had one hit in 15 plate appearances there as Busby flies out there to the third for the first out.
Now batting for the Chargers, number 26, Logan Murphy.
And this is a guy, Logan Murphy, now batting for the Chargers, who, if he connects on one, can put one anywhere out of any part of the park here. He's got a little pop. It's just all about timing and getting the pitch to hit. As he's taking the second ball out of the zone, 2-0.
So, yeah, Murphy, you mentioned him as far as no plate appearances here for the varsity. Had a ankle injury at the end of basketball season, was maybe up dunking on a basketball and landed on one that was on the court and was out. And he's is one of these guys, like you said, can really hammer it.
He turns on one there. Looks like that's going to get down in a gap. It's going to be for extra bases, maybe 3 if he's going to hold him up at second as he stands up with a double. That was a good swing right there.
Now batting for the Chargers, number 18, Peyton Cade.
Yeah, I went and watched the basketball several games this year, and Logan Murphy got a good amount of minutes. He's a pretty good athlete as Peyton Cade takes his first pitch inside, and so he missed the first 3 or 4 games because the basketball made such a deep run and got to Jackson, and like you said, had that ankle injury in warm-ups and landed on a basketball, which is just a freak incident that just happens.
Yeah, Murphy is one of these athletes, like you said, as far as definitely has a good vertical as far as surprising.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cade here, a senior, with the plate appearance.
And he gets hit. The guy trying to get a little cute drops down low arm angle and hits Peyton Cade right in the back. And now looks like number 11, that's going to be Richard Ricardo coming up to the bat.
Now batting for the Chargers, number 11, Richard Ricardo.
This guy here has some pop in his bat as well.
I've also seen him pitch a few times, and he's got a good-looking swing right there as he fouls one back.
He's one of these ones that's scary to pitch to a little bit in your batting cage as far as you like the net to be in front of you. He's had one of these things as far as had a little bit of getting adjusted to the bigger bat and the distance-wise and stuff, but he has coached him several years as far as growing up, and one that you could always depend to come into a ball game and throw strikes.
And he's just a freshman, so he'll be one of the guys probably next year that more than likely is going to be somewhere in the lineup. So get him some valuable at-bats here as he takes one up in the zone and he hits it out to left. Left fielder goes back, makes a nice play. And that's 2 for the outfielder in left, and I think that's the Jacy Beckham kid that is, again, is a 7th grader and has made some nice plays out there.
Now batting for the Chargers,
Jenkins.
number 16, Justin Jenkins.
Another freshman come up to the plate, and Justin Jenkins here, number 16.
And he had got a bat last night in extra innings, and I think he might have drew a walk, and actually was one of the runs that scored. But
yeah, I believe that's right, because I was following along live, and I remember that when I happened. He came in and the pinch hit for Tanner Threadgill.
yeah, he did, as far as right there in extra innings, and it was maybe he hit a ground ball to shortstop. I was trying to remember. Had so much going on. He might have hit a ground ball and beat it out, but he reached base. Let's put it that way, and ended up scoring for the Chargers.
And he's another one, just like we talked about the Ricardo kid. He'll be looked upon next year to play a big role for this team.
Yeah, when you look at that freshman class, it's similar in size. As he hit another ground ball here to the shortstop.
They're going to take the easy way to second. So after that part of the sixth for us, we had 1 hit, 2 men left, but no runs as the Chargers couldn't push across any. So we head to the seventh up 10-2.
For the Chargers in the sixth, no runs off 1 hit, 2 men left. After 6 complete, Chargers 10, Philadelphia 2.
Yeah, but it's similar in size, I guess, as far as baseball class size. There's not many boys in that freshman class, but a lot of them are the ones that play baseball. It's going to be a little senior, like we are senior heavy this year. It's one of those classes that there's a bunch of guys as far as in that plays baseball and is getting some playing time here in this one, which is very valuable as far as you see the Tornadoes having to learn as far as and use it during the year. This is a little bit more choosy as far as for the younger guys for the Chargers to get some action, especially in seeing a varsity level team.
That's right, and you just so next year will be so many questions of who's going to play where, just because these seniors have been here for 3-4 years now, and it'll definitely be interesting next year at the start of the season to see them all play out, and we're going to miss the seniors definitely, but I mean, life goes on, and you got to make it happen.
Yeah, the same thing as far as basketball. Most everyone, as far as on the basketball stars, all 5 were seniors for the Chargers, and also the 6th man off the bench was usually a senior for the Chargers, so all new group as far as there. So, look to reload, so to speak.
Leading off for Philadelphia, number 21, Griffin Gentry.
We're up to the 2-hole here for the Philadelphia. Their last chance here in the 7th. Tanner Threadgill starts them off with the ball high, 1-0.
Gentry in all 3 appearances got out, but put the bat on the ball, flied out in the 1st, ground ball out in the 3rd and the 5th inning.
And Tanner throws one right down the middle to even things up here at 1-1. You had a busy week in baseball this week. 4 games in 5 days. And the Chargers, I believe, as we have a fly ball to right, maybe out of play. Yeah, it's going to land right in between the dugout and the stands. But on the week, we had 5 games, or I believe, no, 4 games in 5 days, and we went 3-1 with our only loss to East Webster, and very easily could have won that game.
Yeah, that was one that came down. Saw a lot of fight in this team as far as jumped out, and just had when the Chargers have had problems in the games, usually have had one bad inning or that just
there was a knuckleball there, and kid barely puts the bat on the ball and flies one out to short right, and it's going to drop in for a hit.
Just have had one inning that just sort of was the hiccup.
Now batting for the Philadelphia Tornadoes, number 23, Deandre Fox.
Yeah, when you have those innings like that, if you can just get the kids to realize, just limit it, and once you stop it, I believe after that big inning we gave up, we had a couple of other, innings after that where we would give up 2 or maybe 1, on some, just some bonehead plays or something that we shouldn't have gave up. If you could just get them to think, during that time to just keep it where it was at. I think it was at 7-5 at one point or something like that, and then we let it get back to let them get all the way ahead to 10-5. We might have a different outcome there at the end.
Yeah, just trying to cut your losses a little bit as far as and just make sure you make all the plays as far as best you can, as far as try to limit that and stuff. And if you can cut out as far as down the road, try to cut out those innings like that, the Chargers have can be very successful.
That's right. As the umpires didn't call it, but I believe Tanner Threadgill just balked, and the umpires did not call it.
Yeah, I saw it myself. Like you said, I was leaning over and he moved, and then he ended up. And I think there's a little bit of some conversation, but he's got to be careful here with Fox. Fox has got the batter here has got a double. He lined out in the third and then a hit back in the fifth. So he's barreled it up every single time and put the bat on the ball hard.
Yeah, he's been the toughest out by far here in this lineup for the. That's what's going to happen on those knuckleballs. Going to get in the dirt and runner advances up 90 feet to second. Runner in scoring position here for Deandre Fox. I was looking at Nettleton's some of their players, and I know one of them. I believe he played quarterback as well. I think his last name's Allspurn. He has signed. Oh, good pitch right there as Tanner Threadgill strikes out the 3-hole and Deandre Fox.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, number 22, Boogie Bingham.
But like I was saying earlier, the Allspurn kid is signed, I believe, with Jones Community College to play baseball, and they are, if you keep up with JUCO baseball, one of the top teams in the nation. But I think it's number 2 right now, and he's infielder. Looking at him, infielder pitcher. A nice play by the shortstop Coleman. It was get him out at first, and we throw it across, try to get but the runner's going to advance. But a nice play nonetheless by 24 Coleman to throw out the runner at first, and we're 1 out away from a Charger victory.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, number 4, Will Wood.
But and they have another kid that I don't know, but looking at the Colton Allspurn here, he's also was the quarterback. I don't know if you remember him. He's the one who played quarterback for Nelton and had a really good season for them. He looks like he's batting .471 on the season. Trying
to see if he's had any pitching stats as far as right there on him and stuff. But
there's another kid on their team. I don't know his name, but that I've heard he has very good velocity and throws quite hard.
The Osborne kid right there listed 6'2".
175.
Well, coming to that game, Nettleton is batting .357, .461 on base. They've hit 3 home runs. But ERA right there for the team is 2.53. Yeah, pretty stout right there.
We end whipping up one last time, hopefully. Let's see. The Gardner kid that's on listed, he's a heck of an athlete because I just saw where he signed for basketball. I think it's Northeast maybe.
Yeah, I think his dad's the basketball coach there at Nettleton. He has a younger brother, I think, is a sophomore, number 13.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So, but definitely going to be an athletic team right there. As the Chargers are going to have a pretty tough week as far as, but hopefully we'll be up for the battle right there as we go to Nettleton, and we're supposed to return back home as far as Friday. I don't know if it's still there for Friday on Good Friday here to host, but I don't know if it'll be swapped or anything different as far as from that day. But
and Tanner gives up a 2-out walk, the number 4, Will Wood.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, number 1, Jackson Ward.
That's going to prolong the game a little longer, but looking at Nettleton's statistics, looks like they got a couple guys batting over 400, 3 guys so far. So it's going to be a good challenge for the Chargers, and hopefully, like we said, they're up to it. And looking at pitching statistics, the Osborne kid has a 2.13 ERA, leads in appearances, so he's going to be their number 1 guy, and he may be the guy that I was told that has pretty good velocity.
yeah, the other pitcher it looks like has the second most appearances is Oswalt, freshman. As far as he got the lowest ERA on the team but has 5 appearances.
That's a good looking future there for a freshman.
Yeah.
As Tanner now back where he can't find the strike zone for a short minute. It's 2-0 here to the pitcher. Started short and moved to pitching. Has done a decent job. Come in and limited the Chargers. And Tanner fires a strike in there.
So Ward has reached on that error in the second. In the fourth, had a ground ball out and then walked in the sixth.
Ball in dirt, and that's ball 4. That's two out walks. That's going to load the bases. Going to bring a visit from Andy Young. We'll see if he's going to pull him or if he's going to stick with him here. I'm thinking he's going to stick with him the way it's looking. Just give him some kind of motivational speech to throw strikes. That's one thing as a coach that really will get under your skin when you have a 8-run lead like this and you give up a few walks. I mean, we know Tanner's not doing it on purpose, but it just something that you don't want them to get back in the game, and walks will definitely let them do that, let them creep in.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, number 5, Jordan Davis.
And brings up number 5, Jordan Davis, and on the day I think he is struck out. He struck out once, got a base hit, and he walked. And Tanner starts him off with the strike.
That mound visit might have paid off.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. He's the guy that hit the ball down the third base line, and Braden Hines made a nice play to stop it, but not enough time to get him thrown out as his momentum took him in the foul territory, and Jordan was able to beat him out at first. Another young kid from Philadelphia.
Well, I can speak for my wife. We were supposed to play these games originally at Philadelphia, and she had planned on the whole time as far as it was going to work out. We had 2 games originally on the schedule. It was going to work out for the casino seafood buffet.
Oh, yeah.
So we was definitely going to try to hit that. But
oh, man, that's – shoot. I'm willing to go play the second game there for that. Tanner works it to a 2-2 count.
Nowhere for Davis here on the bases, so Tanner needs to try to get this out here at the plate and make him earn his way. And with the full count and 2 outs, look to see the runners advancing on the pitch.
Hey, if they're running and he hits a ball in the gap, that's more than likely going to score 3, and it won't get you too close, but it'll start. It's a good way to start. It's something you just like for Tanner to go ahead and try to set him down right here. And he throws it in the dirt for a walk.
So Davis walks, and that's going to walk in a run.
Now batting for the Tornadoes, number 16, Jacy Beckham.
He's coming in here, and he struck out all 3 times, so hopefully we can fill the zone up here and make it happen. He starts him off with a strike. This is the kid that's made a few nice catches out and left today. If it wouldn't have been for his nice catches, we may already be at the house, Chris.
Yeah, he's definitely made up on the defensive side. And 2 quick strikes there by Threadgill. So maybe we can close this door on this chapter of this game right here and advance to 9-3, I think, on the year. There we go, and that does it right there. As the Chargers going to take the victory 10-3. That inning had 1 hit, 1 run, and 3 runners left on base. But that's going to do it here for baseball, Charger style, from Tom Glasgow Park, as the Chargers win the non-division matchup 10-3 over the visiting Philadelphia Tornadoes. We'll have Charger baseball next week. As far as on Tuesday, we'll be traveling to Nettleton, and Friday, as the way the schedule reads, we'll be playing them in district matchups. So Nettleton comes in 3-1, Chargers 2-2 in the district. So we need all the support we can get as far as for this baseball team. So tune in as far as try to be here as we look for the Chargers to take a step forward here this next week.